Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Supreme Court strikes out supplementary affidavit supporting an injunction application filed by suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu, seeking to halt her suspension and impeachment process. Also coming up on the program, embattled Ashanti Regional Chairman of New Patriotic Party Bernard Adu still responding to medical treatment at NIB clinic after suddenly falling ill during interrogation by Iyoko officials. His interrogation is expected to continue this afternoon. We are live at the Iyoko for the very latest. And much later, Media Journal's award-winning journalist Godwin Asidiba uncovers the disturbing rise in the sale and abuse of opioid in a hard-hitting new documentary, Hooked on Red. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, the Supreme Court has struck out Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu's supplementary affidavit supporting an injunction application seeking to halt her suspension and the impeachment proceedings. The supplementary application filed on May 26 seeks, among other things, a restraining order against the 5-member committee from continuing with the removal petition hearing. She also wants 2 justices of the Supreme Court, Gabriel Scott Kwaman and Samuel Adib Asiadu, removed as members of the committee. We'll be crossing over to the court very shortly for the very latest. But ahead of that, embattled Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Adu, affectionately known as Chairman Wontumi, is still responding to medical treatment at the National Intelligence Bureau NIB clinic after falling ill during an interrogation at the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Iyoko, last evening. The development came shortly after his arrest and subsequent detention following an earlier invitation at the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service. Medical details remain undisclosed, though sources indicate the chairman complained of acute discomfort during questioning. Scores of party sympathizers last night massed up at Iyoko to protest Wuntumi's arrest. Let's now hear from a former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Ni Titus Glover, who expressed concerns about the manner in which Wuntumi's case was being handled.
We are not in the dark days. We are not in a revolution. We are in the rule of law. We are guided by the Constitution. So all the media houses, multimedia, TV3, everybody, you've all gone quiet. And these are, please, allow me to flow. Allow me to flow. I'm speaking with a lot of indignation. My heart is bitter. I'm bleeding. But I want to use your medium to assure the government and the NDC, but they cannot kill the spirit of the elephant. The spirit of the elephant is so strong and so united. You touch one, you touch everybody. What is the issue? Yesterday he was at CID headquarters. He was investigated. They granted him bail. He was asked to come back, only to finish with the CID and then they bring him here to continue the same process. Why?
And you have the former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Ni Titus Glover. We understand that Iyoko is expected to continue the interrogation this afternoon. Let's cross over now to my colleague, Noble Crosby Annan, who's stationed at the Iyoko headquarters now. Crosby, what can you report?
Well, Beatrice, if you come to the head office of the Economic and Organized Crime, we're expecting Chairman Wontumi, the Ashanti Regional NPP Chairman, to be brought here. At the moment, we understand that he is still on admission at an undisclosed health facility. There are reports that the facility is within the 37 military hospital. There are others who are saying that the facility is an NIB clinic, sort of. So far, we've seen his lawyer here, and I'm talking about Andy Apiakubi, the former member of parliament. We've seen Kennedy Japan here, as well as some other supporters of the party gathering here in front of the EOCO office. Police presence here is also quite high. A few police vehicles, police barricades amongst others. So far, this is what is happening. We've not cited Bernard Enchubwe yet, but we understand that he is being kept or being monitored or still under detention in a health facility because he's unwell. In fact, according to his lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, he came here hoping to get an officer to go with to the hospital or the clinic or the health facility where he's being kept so that they can then bring him here to continue with the investigations or the interrogations. But upon his arrival here, it appears that there's no officer here to go with him, and I'm talking about Andy Apiakubi, to the health facility to then transport the Ashanti Regional Minister to the head office of EOCO. So far, that is what is happening here.
Do we still have supporters massed up at the place?
Just a handful of them, about quite a dozen. A handful of supporters are here, not as much as today, but a few supporters here, not exactly in front of EOCO, but across the street. If you know where the EOCO building is, they are across the street. The police have not allowed them masked up like they did yesterday in front of the EOCO building.
And last night we saw how agitated they were. I don't hear any sound of agitation in the background. Does it suggest that they are probably just calm, observing what's going on?
There's no agitation, and that's because that is what is happening. They are calm. They are hoping that the right thing will be done in their own words. They are optimistic that the Ashanti Regional Chairman Wontumi, a popular figure within their party, will be exonerated. He will be treated well. They're not making noise. They are not agitated. They are calm and, just wanting to know what is going on like every other Ghanaian.
Aside from giving information or update on his medical condition, what has the lawyer been saying regarding this whole process? Because we just heard the former Greater Accra Regional Minister Titus Glover expressing concern about the manner in which this case is being handled.
Well, unfortunately, Andy Apiakubi has not spoken about the treatment being meted out to Chairman Wontumi or how the case is progressing in relation to all the charges against him, amongst others. But the only comment we've heard from him is what the situation is now, that he has not been able, the Chairman Wontumi has not been brought to the EOCO because no officer is around to go with him and the Apiakubi to the health facility where he's being kept, so that he will then be brought for interrogation.
Thank you so much for that comprehensive report there, Noble Crosby, and currently stationed at the EOCO headquarters observing what's happening as regards the continuous interrogation of the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Enchubwe, also known as Chairman Wontumi. We'll bring you an update as and when we have it. Meanwhile, a senior communicator with the Movement for Change, Solomon Wusu, is accusing Chairman Wontumi of feigning illness in order to escape accountability. He spoke earlier on TV3's New Day.
Only yesterday, he was on radio speaking loudly on top of his voice. Ghana for Musorio, Ghana for Musorio. Didn't you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
What has that got to do? This man drove by himself to the headquarters of EOCO. No. What's the name? CID. And was driving back. All of a sudden, arrested EOCO. This man is sick. And EOCO too must be very serious.
You mean Chairman Wontumi can't get sick?
How can he be sick all of a sudden? The governor.
Governor of where?
You are not sick. Whatever you are, and again, this medical doctor who is saying this morning, Wontumi is sick. I want to see the report. He's a coward. You see, we must be serious as a country if we want to develop. As a result of the effects of Galamsey, women were having even their menstrual cycle shortened. They were giving birth to kids with 3 eyes, 4 eyes, and the perpetrator is saying we must trivialize this matter.
And you heard a senior communicator with the Movement for Change. We can now listen to Dr. Joshua Zato, a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana's Political Science Department, who is accusing the government of political vendetta against opponents.
What is happening to me is a naked and shambolic attempt to cover up the government's woeful and inefficiency.
You say it's what? Naked?
Naked and shambolic attempt by the government to hide their woeful, pathetic inefficiencies in the Galamsey fight. The Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference was in the Jubilee House. They asked one thing of the president, one thing. May you please, Mr. President, we beg you, declare a state of the emergency. The president has not done that. The anti-coalition people, if you talk to anyone, nobody in the anti-Galamsey group can tell you that we are winning this fight. Absolutely nobody. There are simple, low-hanging fruits you can do. This morning, the president can declare a state of he will do it. I've heard what the parliament is supposed to do. Nothing in the itinerary given so far says that they are going to expunge or they are going to remove the bill that is mining there. So all of a sudden, let's go for Wontumi.
And you have a senior political lecturer at the University of Ghana's Political Science Department. Let's speak to Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. He's a political analyst. He joins us live on the line. Good afternoon to you, Doc. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Beatrice.
I want to get your interpretation from where you stand, really, based on what, for instance, we've heard Solomon say earlier, who is with Movement for Change, and now Dr. Zato as well. Both of them having different stance. The other accusing the government of naked and just using his words, shambolic attempt to, try to intimidate the opponent, and the other also thinking that Chema Wontumi is just lying and being a coward in the face of all of these.
Well, Beatrice, let me say once again, good afternoon to yourself and to your good listeners. I think that we cannot hide behind our political clothes to assume that somebody is being witch hunted. The president got elected on account of accountability. And if you have a situation where UTAG even joined organized labor to declare strike, and we have a previous government that was so unwilling to prosecute Mr. Wontumi on the score of Galamsey activities. Our former president even had cause to suggest that Mr. Wontumi was not doing or was not engaged in Galamsey. That being said, I'm of the view that we cannot in any way put accountability on the sword of political partisanship. Accountability is good for the ordinary Ghanaian in the sense that we stand out to benefit, because some time ago we had political actors who remained untouchable. And a different time has come in which the citizens have spoken that they want proper accountability. So in all of this, I see it as part of the accountability process, which the president has been very keen on. And all the political actors or appointees have equally been warned that if they do certain things untoward, an accountability sword will not only be used on the opposition, but it will also be equally be used on the appointees of the president. And so that is how I see it. As for the idea that Dr. Zato thinks that it is a political vendetta, I think he only gleaned it from Dr. Computer's submission during the morning show. But in general terms, that I don't think that represented the view of government.
Indeed.
Yeah, we cannot also suggest that every now and then, if a new government comes and demanding accountability, we think it is witch hunting. I don't think it is proper. If we really want to reset this country and reset this economy, we cannot be doing the same thing that yielded the same result. who may have to change their ways.
One other thing that comes up is when a political figure is arrested or is going through such a process, you find supporters massing up at such places, and even to an extent that sometimes journalists are attacked. Like yesterday, I'm sure you heard that a journalist was attacked. Is this a trend that we must, is this something that we must encourage?
Not at all. Unfortunately, this has been characterized by, both ends of the political divide. It is something that they've always encouraged their membership to do. And these are more or less like rented, citizens of one particular political divide. I see it as an act of lawlessness. And that I think that even Mr. Wontumi should answer charges of that nature. Because that flout in the face of Public Order Act. And so the police can even charge him for that, especially when they heard him on his radio or TV asking the people to come en masse. Because when they do come, definitely they're going to breach the law. You saw what happened. A journalist was attacked. So all of these can lead to certain things. So it creates the impression that the political class are untouchable within the sphere of politics. And that, for me, does not sit well. And so if we really believe in the resetting agenda, which the president, the vice president, and then all the appointees have set their mind to, then we need to see that new trend that they are carving for all of us. And I think that if it is not about overstretching the issue, Mr. Wontumi should be charged for causing, for inciting the public against the state, because it is a state function that is being performed. So I think that the nation must explore that and exploit that opportunity. That will serve as a caution for politicians who call, on their support base to come and do certain things that are illegal.
We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. He's a political analyst. Let's go to our earlier story about the Supreme Court and the hearing of the CJ's supplementary affidavit. Lord Edwasari is a correspondent in court. He joins us live on the line. George, Lord, earlier the court overruled the AG's objection to the inclusion of the 5-member committee members as defendants. Just tell us more as regards what's transpired.
Right, Beatrice. So, initially, the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsa, he's leading the prosecution for the Attorney General in this matter, being a defendant. Now, the day the case was called, he objected to the inclusion or the listing of the members of the Committee of Inquiry probing the petitions for the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. Now, he indicated that from the suit, the main party is the Attorney General and the one who is to be affected. So the committee members should be excluded from the injunction application. But the lead counsel for the suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, he's the former Attorney General, Godfrey, he indicated that if you look at the reliefs being sought by his clients, the members of the committee had a role to play. And Beatrice, you recall that the chair of the committee, Justice Pwamang, another member of the committee, has also been listed. And so he was making the case that they stand to be affected. And so once they have been certain the relief, they ought to be included in the injunction suits. Now, ruling on the matter, the 5-member panel of justices presided over by the acting Chief Justice, Bafo Boni, overruled that objection by the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsa. And then there was also another objection this time around by the Deputy Attorney General. Again, but this time I had to do the supplementary affidavit. And Beatrice, if you look at that document, it constituted certain matters that the Chief Justice raised in her first meeting with the Committee of Inquiry. Part of the issues that she raised had to do with the fact that she indicated that she'd been subjected to searches her spouse and children were disallowed entry to see her. Several other claims and allegations in there. And the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsa, asked the court to dismiss that, highlighting that those things that she had mentioned have been captured by Article 1468. That has to do with the fact that the work of the committee should be privy or should be only to the committee. It should be in camera. It shouldn't be in the forum. It shouldn't be in the public eye. And so he was arguing on that front that the Supreme Court should dismiss or uphold his objection to the supplementary affidavit being used in support of the injunction application. But Godfred Yabadame, the lawyer for the CJ, indicated that that's not the case because the instances that the Chief Justice had mentioned cannot be cited as hearings because, as it were, the substantive hearing for which reason she was there has not even begun. For example, he stated that the lawyer who was representing her at the hearing, that is lawyer Beatrice Adu, he was not recognized after being served a hearing notice and several other indications about her laptop being searched and where the hearing was taking place, where we understand that it's being held at the castle and not, for example, the judicial premises. For example, is a law court complex. He indicated that all that constitutes things that just happened at the venue of the hearing, but the hearing in itself had tentatively not begun, and so it cannot be said that it's been covered under the Article 1468, for which reason it has to be private.
All right. Okay. We'll have to end it here, Lord. Thank you very much for bringing us that update from court. 22 minutes past the hour of 12. Stay with us.
Hello, Ghana. It's a new year and Bill's Microcredit is here to support your dreams. If you're not working but want to start a business, don't let money stop you. With just your Ghana card, you can get a loan to turn your ideas into reality. Already running a business? Need more capital? Or are you a salary worker looking for extra funds? Bills offers fast and easy loans with no collateral, no deposit, and no SUSI savings required. Wherever you are, whatever you need, Bills makes it happen. Call Bills Microcredit today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390 and get started. Bills is licensed and regulated by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
Freezer, get the abba. Adama for the abba, a freezer. Adama, a quaffosamentia. Adama, make my sorry. Can you know? Over Moasia, I do for Nobium Unum and San last night. I don't know what we did was here. Adama for you from what we say. Yet the Adruba Cope, a ship will be a high technology. I could for freezer. When Kwan, and once open your 15 letters. No fugum, what you are not fugum. What the bus here, for your being what you have, you have to say, over Timono. No more you sure say, woman sure Tassia. No more send up for now, freezer, power up a day, freezer.
Dacia, a person does so among Ammoniaji.
To me, me what's he got? To me, but you may not do some doom. Adama, with that Adama, no, Adama, you can't resist.
Ubenya Adama West Africa for a dream, or baby bear a tongue cry on you. I say, Kayone Kinkai in Choya, a dream.
You're still here on the Midday News on Shri FM 92.7. Now, Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu has vowed to investigate explosive allegations that the Forestry Commission's Sakumono Ramsar site manager Thomas Aqua illegally sold portions of the protected wetland and collected money from residents. The pledge follows a tense confrontation between Aqua and property owners on Tuesday. The owners accused him of extorting several sums of money before their unauthorized structures were demolished in a government-sanctioned operation. The probe commitment comes hours after Minister Oklu led a task force to demolish encroaching structures on the ecologically sensitive Sakomono Ramsar site. Let's listen to what transpired between the minister.
The truth will always stand. I have not taken money from anyone. This world, you don't get everything on silver platter. Sometimes you may have those who will love you and others who will hate you. I am innocent of all these accusations.
Let's speak to our reporter, Deborah Mensah, who is with the task force now. She joins us live on the line. Debbie, what more can you tell us?
Okay, so the demolition exercise that started yesterday, we all saw what came out from it, some allegations being made and all that. Today, the demolition exercise is continued. The minister is not here yet, but she is expected to join the demolition exercise. We've spoken to some of the officials who are around. They said they are informed, but they are not going to lose any human face because there are other humans also being affected by these kind of activities. We all know what happened at Adenta and other areas when it got flooded. Some people even losing their lives. So the exercise is still ongoing effectively.
All right, thank you very much, Debbie Mensah. She's our reporter currently monitoring the demolition exercise at the Sakomono Ramsar site. Now, Ghana is battling a new wave of drug abuse, one more dangerous and deeply rooted than ever before. The crisis surrounding the opioid known as Red 225 is spreading fast, devastating lives and communities across the country. In a hard-hitting new documentary, Hooked on Red, we uncover the disturbing rise in the sale and abuse of this powerful substance, now easily accessible even in Ghana's most remote areas. The documentary airs tonight and will be streamed live across all our social media platforms, but here are excerpts.
So you want to stop the medicine, and you go take gun or go rob no daytime.
It was meant to heal, but on the streets, Red now rules lives.
I didn't find sometimes I could take some tablets to just feel so hefty to work.
From hidden ghettos to forgotten slums, a silent epidemic is eating into the souls of Ghana's youth.
We know that it's not good. That's why we do for one side and things.
Red 225, a painkiller turned poison. Dreams erased, families broken, futures lost. But behind every pill is a story, and behind every story, a cry for help. Walk with me, Godwin Asideba, on this daring journey in Hooked on Red. Raw stories, hidden truths, real pain. Who will fight to save a generation hanging by a pill? Hooked on Red premieres on Wednesday, May 28 at 9 p.m. on TV3 and across all our social media platforms.
My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Log on to shrenews.com for more news.